I am here in the heart of LaGrange, Texas with a very famous chef, Mike Morphew. Mike is so accomplished that I'm actually going to let him tell about himself and the background that he has and why we're here today.
Okay, welcome everybody. You tell by my accent I'm not from these parts, but the question I always get asked is what's an English chef doing living in LaGrange? It is a long story, but I'll make it brief. Basically, after training in London and working in big hotels and opening restaurants, I went into education and started training chefs, and then I was invited by a school in Vermont to go and do a Make-A-Wish charity event as guest chef. So they flew me over from England, we did the event, I got back home. I was asked at the same time to open the culinary school in Virginia, so I shipped out to Norfolk, Virginia, opened the school there, met my second wife in Virginia who was from Texas. And that's what's brought me down here.
And Texans always come back to Texas, don't
Absolutely,
they?
yeah.
It's just part of it.
And now I do the cooking classes here, and they're a great success, yeah.
We're at La Petite Gourmet, like I said, right in the heart of LaGrange. But you have done something for royalty. So quickly, tell us about that.
After I've worked in the big London hotels, the Savoy, the Connaught and so on, I shipped out to work in Zurich, Switzerland, for experience, then went to France for experience, then came back to London. When I came back, I was very lucky to be asked to work in Royal Kitchen, so I spent some time cooking for the royal family, which was not only an honour but a fantastic experience.
We have a touch of royalty right here in Texas. Well, Mike, tell us a little bit about what you're going to prepare.
Well, I do obviously cooking classes here. They're classes with most cooking classes. You usually go and you watch a chef for a couple of hours and you get like a taste of what they're doing. And I do 2 classes a month. One is a tour of Europe, so every month's a different country. Tonight I'm doing an Irish pub. So an Irish pub dinner, very typical food from that.
I have never been to Ireland, so this is a whole new experience for me, but we do have Irish in Texas.
Yeah,
they were part of the group that settled in Texas. So, okay, let's have at it. I am going to step away, and I'm going to let you just do your thing here in the kitchen.
Okay, great.
All right.
Well, the menu tonight is very typical. I'll tell you what the menu I'm doing tonight is, and that is basically customers starting off with a curried parsnip soup, which is very unusual but really good. And they're following that with a stuffed loin of pork, and that's being stuffed with cream leeks and fresh sage. And then with that they have a cold cannon potato and a cabbage braised with butter and caraway seeds. So that's it. So we're going to start off by actually prepping the loin of pork. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I've just got some really, really nice loin of pork here, and you can see we've got this silver skin on here. That really needs to come off. It doesn't affect the flavour of the silver skin, but if any of you have ever cooked a pork chop with a bone on and it's curled up while it's cooking, it's curled up because this has been left on. And this, when it heats up, acts like a piece of elastic and it pulls in and draws the meat up. So you need to remove it. And what you need is a really sharp knife, of course. And we're just going to go underneath the silver skin there and then point the knife upwards and just go back, all the way along. And then same this way. And we just take off all that silver skin with no meat. A sharp knife is absolutely essential. I'm going to cut into this now like a big pocket. Open it up. So we've opened that up. And just peel down slightly. And then we're going to slightly back this out with a hammer, very slightly. And then we're going to season it. Salt, I always use kosher salt, and we're going to put pepper. So I'm using a pepper called Roscoterri, which is available in the store here, but it's just really worth trying the wild pepper. It's really good. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to put some fresh sage leaves in. Okay, so we're going to put this fresh sage inside. This is going to infuse this pork while it's cooking. And they're in the food processor. And I'm going to put some coarse salt in here. We're going to put some nutmeg, fresh nutmeg. Can't beat fresh nutmeg. Some pepper. And a little bit of egg white. Now the egg white's going to act as a binding agent. It's also going to act as a area. And we're going to just start whisking this up, beating this up in the food processor just a little bit. And we're going to add to that some leeks that I've just washed, cut up and sweated in a little bit of butter till they're cooked. So we're going to put leeks in there. And a little bit of cream. Last thing we're going to put in here is a little bit of ground sage, just ordinary dried ground sage. That's going to help with that sage flavouring in the middle of the pork. Alright, done. We have a pork stuffing. Okay. And this is lovely leeks, so it's going to give this pork a really, really good flavour. And we're going to get some string. When you're using string, by the way, always keep it in something like this. Right, so what we're going to do now is to tie this up. I'm going to tie it in such a way that it keeps a really good shape when it's cooked. There we go. Put that back in, cut that off. And now we have our lovely stuffed loin of pork. Now, not quite finished with this yet. What we're going to do now is stab it. And in each stab we're going to insert a piece of sage, fresh sage. And it's going to taste really, really good. So just lay it on with the back of a knife. You can push that into the incision you've made. You see how easy that is? And then we are ready to put it on a tray. A little bit of salt, drizzle a little bit of oil, and then roast it in a hot oven 350 until the internal temperature reaches about 155, and then let it rest and it'll be ready. So what we're going to do is just going to take a piece off the end of this.
Look how beautiful that is.
See, that's what we get. And I'm going to be making a sauce tonight, which is going to be a Guinness and red wine reduction sauce.
Oh.
So that's going to go with that. Okay?
Oh, what a combination.
I wanted to show you what it looks like. So every piece, you get a bit of the centre stuffing as well as the meat.
That is beautiful.
So we're just going to put a small pan. I'm using induction here. So we're going to take some onion. And I'm looking for about half the size of a grain of rice. Okay, so I'm sweating these onions to basically expel 90% of the onion flavour into that bit of butter that's in there. Next thing we're going to do is to add a little bit of chopped sage. Okay. A little bit of red wine. Now when you're making a wine sauce, a lot of people make a sauce and pour some wine in it. That's how I made a wine sauce. Well, you've done two things wrong. One is that you've watered your sauce down, and the other thing, you've added pure acid and alcohol to your sauce, and you don't want that. The only way to make any wine sauce is to do what's happening now. And all this steam coming up is the water content and alcohol content from the wine. So the more I do that, the stronger the wine flavour gets, stronger and stronger and stronger in there. So white wine sauce, red wine sauce, this is what you've got to do. Got a bit of Guinness here. Good old Irish Guinness. I'm looking to reduce this down by about half, and then we're going to add some Guinness and reduce that down a little bit. Here I've just got, this is literally all the flavours building in here, by the way, and I'm going to put in there a little bit of this. If you've seen this before, this is just concentrated stock, okay? So we're just going to take a little bit of this, like that. That's probably equivalent to about 3 quarts of stock without the liquid, flavour-wise. So that just goes in there. That's flavours building up in there. Now in here I've just got literally some McCormick's brown gravy powder, nothing else. This is all the flavour in here. This is just going to give my sauce some body. I'm just going to bring those together. Have a quick taste of that. Very important to tasting. When I eat out in a restaurant, I know if the chef tasted the food or not before it comes out. Because if something is too salty or under-seasoned or overcooked, whatever, I know it's not being tasted properly. Okay, so last thing we're going to do with that now is to whisk in some butter. And any fine sauce, if you whisk in hard butter at the end, it does two things. It makes the sauce much more rich, but from a professional chef's point of view, it makes the sauce shine on the plate. So rather than just a dull brown sauce, it actually shines on the plate. You can see that Look close. You can actually see that shining.
And it smells really good. Oh,
Okay.
that is beautiful. Can we have a taste?
Yep, for sure. Yep. Yeah.
So I'm so excited. I'm getting my first Irish pub food right here in the heart of Texas. Since I've never been. I've been to an Irish pub in New York City,
Oh, well,
but not
yeah.
one in Ireland.
Well, that'll be pretty close because the Irish contingent in.
Oh, that's amazing. That is so good. We have a tradition with Texicurians. Once we cook together, I'm sure you have many aprons, but here's another one to add
Oh,
to
thank
your
you.
collection of aprons.
Thanks very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.